Hi guys, today I wanted to film kind of a short video. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, I guess, so I just wanted to film something kind of quick and short, but I don't know, something also kind of easy. So I decided to film this, which is my products I regret buying. I was iffy about doing this too, just because I know a lot of times when people do these, they get comments of people saying they're being really negative. I'm going to try not to be negative. I'm going to try to be really specific about why I don't like a product, and we'll just kind of see how this goes. So I'm going to go ahead and start with some hair stuff. If you know me, you know I love the Joico Moisture Recovery Mask, and I purchased the shampoo and conditioner in a set. It was on clearance at my work for $10. My thought process when I purchased this was that if I used these in addition to the mask, besides obviously the conditioner, I would use the mask instead of the conditioner, is that I would get even better results, because my hair was really damaged before I just recently got it cut, and the bottom 2 inches were just so bad and so dry, and I just thought if I got these and the mask, it would just make a whole ton of difference, because the mask made such a dramatic difference alone that I just thought using it as a system it would be even better. But I didn't experience anything amazing with these. I think they're okay in that for the $10 price I paid for them, that was a pretty good deal. I just don't think I'll repurchase these unless they were on sale again, because I don't feel like they did enough. They're a good basic moisturizing shampoo and conditioner, but they're just nothing special. So those are okay, I just don't love them. Next is another Joico product, and this is the K-Pack Intense Hydrator. I decided to try this because the Moisture Recovery says it is for thick, coarse hair, and I've never really had any problems with it weighing my hair down, but my hair also isn't super volumized. So I thought maybe if I tried this, it would be a little bit lighter, I'd have more volume in my hair. But with this, I noticed no difference in my hair at all. My ends still stayed really dry and bad. I know that the K-Pack line is usually their more protein damage oriented line, but this one does say intense hydrating treatment, restores moisture to overly dry damaged hair, seals the cuticle, imparts shine, and improves manageability and elasticity. That didn't happen for me, so I was a little disappointed in this, but I purchased this again on sale, so it was only $5. Again though, I'm just not happy with it. I like the other mask better, so I think I'm going to go back to that one. If you're really worried about, I don't know, I don't even want to really recommend it if you're looking for a lightweight mask, because I just feel like this didn't really do very much. But it says it can be used alone or after the K-Pack Deep Penetrating Reconstructor. The Penetrating Reconstructor isn't terrible either. I feel like that one's better than this one. I have noticed a difference with that one. This though, I just didn't notice any difference. Next is another hair thing. This is the Sexy Hair H2 No. This is their new dry shampoo. I've only used this a handful of times because obviously it's a little can, but it says it's a 3-day style saver dry shampoo. I disagree with that a little bit, because with my Batiste and other dry shampoos I've used, I can spray it on my 2nd day and I can get a 3rd day out of it if I want to. But with this, I spray it and that's it. It only lasts that day for me, and then I have to reapply again the next morning or use something else or take a shower, wash my hair actually. I don't know, it just didn't really do a whole lot for me. I do like this though for, I recommend this for people that I guess don't really like typical dry shampoos, because this feels very light. It kind of almost disappears in your hair. It gets rid of the oil, but it just seems like you don't feel it. Whereas a lot of dry shampoos, you can feel kind of that powder in there, and you can get that white cast. I didn't have any problems with that from this, so that is a good thing about this. I just personally, for myself, I just don't really like it. So next is my Olay Fresh Effects Out of This World Deep Pore Clean and Exfoliating Scrub. I have talked about the original one from the regular Olay line. And it looks pretty much the same, except for the swirls I think are more blue-green, and the packaging is a little bit more plain and it's blue-green again. But this one, I just really don't like the smell. It says essence of white grapefruit and green tea. When I purchased it though, I assumed that these were oranges because they look like orange. So I expected it to smell like oranges, and I don't know. I don't know how to explain the smell. Maybe it's supposed to smell like grapefruit. I just don't particularly like it. But it is exactly the same, I think, as the other one. And that's the other issue I have with it, is I think it's exactly the same, but for some reason this one just doesn't feel like it works as well. Something about this one I just don't like as much as the original one. So I would try the original one over this. This is something that I don't think Urban Decay makes anymore, and I purchased it, I'm pretty sure I purchased it on clearance at their website just to get like free shipping because I was a couple dollars away. I mean, you know how that goes at Sephora or anywhere that has like that $50 shipping limit, and then you get free shipping and you're like $45 and you're like, need something to add on. This is the Urban Decay Marshmallow Sparkling Lickable Body Powder. I think I bought this because it was like $3 and I liked the marshmallow scent to it and I liked the glitter. And that's kind of what the inside looks like. And then it comes with this puff. This isn't really a good way to apply it, and the only reason I really regret purchasing is it because I never use it. It smells like marshmallows, like it does smell really good. I don't know. I don't use it though, so I just feel like it's something I didn't need to waste my money on. I just don't know why I bought this. Like, I don't wear sparkling body powder. This would be, I think, good for other people that wear this kind of stuff, but it's not for me. So this one I kind of don't even want to say, but I have to share how I feel about it because it is something I regret purchasing. Well, maybe I shouldn't open it. I really don't know what to say about this. Like, I don't want to say I totally regret purchasing it because that's not it. I just find that of all my Naked palettes, this is the least used one, and I feel like that says a lot because the Naked 2 to me was really not my favorite. But out of this whole palette, I find myself only using like the last 5 shades in it, the darkest shades. Those are my favorite. Those are what I reach for all the time. But otherwise, I just feel like the other half of the palette I don't even touch. Like, to me, Dust is just such a stupid eyeshadow. Like, that sounds really mean, but whenever I apply it, it's literally that, like Dust. It just is really like flaky, and it just like, I don't know. It just doesn't really show up. Like, it shows up on my hand, but I can like well, maybe not even. You can kind of see it there. But I just feel like I can literally brush it off and it just disappears. So, I don't know. And then like Limit and Nooner, the pink like mauve shades, I do like those for transition shades, but there's other colors that I have from other palettes that are better. So, I'm trying to think. There's one in the Sigma Warm Eyes palette. I can't think of the name of it, but it's a pink color and I like to use it as a transition color, and it's exactly what I was hoping like Nooner or Limit would be, but it's just not. I do like Strange though. I guess that is like the one color, light color that I like. I thought Trick I would really like, but I kind of don't. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but this palette to me is just definitely not my favorite. I think that if I could have just purchased the last like 5 eyeshadows, I would have done that because I like those so much better than anything else in the palette. So I feel really bad saying that that's like a product I regret purchasing, but I just know that I don't reach for it that much, and it's not exactly a cheap palette, you know? It's the money I could have spent on some other palette that I would have wanted, or spent money on something else. So this is another hair thing. I purchased this a while ago when my hair was shorter, but it's the Mia Bun Ease. I don't know why, but no matter, I tried to use this when my hair was quite a bit shorter, and when it didn't work then I understood. Like, I have the large one. I think there's another one, like a medium one that's a little bit smaller than this. I should have got the medium, and it seems like no matter what length my hair is, this just doesn't work for me. So I made my own little sock bun and it works perfect. And I don't know, I wouldn't say it's exactly the same size, but it's pretty close. So it's really weird to me that this one just doesn't work for me because, I mean, it's like the same size. but I don't know. Something about this just doesn't really work for me. I'm going to try it again when my hair gets longer, but right now it's something I kind of regret purchasing because I haven't really got to use it, so. Next is another kind of silly product, but it is the Revlon Skin Lights Face Illuminator, and it's a loose powder. These I think are the old Revlon Skin Lights because now the new ones are like the liquid. So I think this is the old one that everybody was like talking about. And I have two of these. This one is in natural light, and then like the other one I have is like a medium, more bronze color. It comes with a little brush up here. And that is the product in there. The actual shimmer of this product is very pretty, and I don't know, it's pretty, I will give it that. It's just, again, I don't wear loose shimmer, so I don't really know why I bought this. I think I bought it for a dance when I kind of want to say in high school or something. I don't know if you guys can see it there. Yeah, you can see it. It's really, really pretty, but I just know I'm never going to wear it, and I just keep it in my makeup collection for some reason. I don't really know what the reason is, but it's like it's too pretty for me to get rid of, but I never use it. So, I don't know. Next, this one kind of kills me because I have mentioned it in favorite videos, but what I'm going to try to show you is exactly why I don't like the product. This is my Jane blush in Peach Bouquet. Let's see if I can show you that. You see like all that little powdery bits? I don't know. It just makes this blush, like every time I put a brush in here, it just does that. Like it kicks up a bunch of powder. And the color is pretty. But the other problem I have is sometimes I don't get a consistent color from this. Sometimes I will really get a lot of that orange shade in there. I don't really want my blush to look orange. I like when it's, you know, a nice coral because it mixes with everything. So there's a few minor issues with this one. Looking back, I kind of wish I just wouldn't have purchased it. I don't hate it, and I know I'll use it. But again, it's just something I was like, I wish I would have just left it and not purchased it. Next is a product that I do love, but I just regret my color choice maybe. It is the L'Oreal Infallible Eyeshadow in Midnight Blue. And I'm going to try to show this to you guys, but if you guys can tell, that is a really beautiful dark midnight blue. It's beautiful, the pigmentation's awesome, it's super creamy, but it's just a color that I don't really particularly wear or pull out a lot. So I don't know, it's beautiful, but I'm kind of mad at myself purchasing it because, like I said, I don't wear navy blue eyeshadow that often. I don't know, maybe I can find a way to use this more and then like I won't regret purchasing it so much. But every time I see it and I don't use it, I look at it and I'm like, gosh, I really wish I could use this for something. Like, I have tutorials with on my blog with this, but there were none that I was like super happy with and just completely loved them. Or at least now I don't particularly love those tutorials. So I might have to just retry this and see if there's something I can come up with this for, but like I said, the eyeshadow is beautiful. It's just my own fault that I don't like it. This is kind of another new product, but it is the NYX Nude Matte Shadow. This one is in Kiss the Day. I bought this because I love Foxy from my Vice 2 palette to use that as like a brow bone highlight. And I just wanted something that I felt like I could take with me when traveling so I don't have to take that whole palette along just to have a brow bone highlight. I like matte brow bone highlights, so I just wanted to make sure like I could take something along without taking a palette. So I bought this, and it's okay, but I'm a little bit sad because these nude matte lines are just not, like, I can't really get a good swatch of it. They're just not very pigmented, so I kind of wish I would have purchased a NYX eyeshadow, but not from the nude matte line because this one's just not that pigmented. I did play with the tester and I remember thinking it was pigmented, but maybe I swatched one of the regular ones and thought it was this one. Because I swatched a bunch of them trying to like decide which one to get. So I don't know. This I really don't even want to say that I regret purchasing, but I know I do. It is the Milani Lip Flash Full Coverage Shimmer Gloss Pencil in Star Flash. If you go back a year or something like that, a year or two, in Vintage or Tacky's video, Cora does like a Sugar Plum Fairy Wet n Wild tutorial, and she uses this on her lips with like another lip balm, and it's just like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. But on myself, this just really settles into my fine lines of my lips, and it just looks kind of chunky and bad. It's just, it is a really, really pretty color, but it just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. I also tried to like mix it with a balm and stuff like that, and it didn't work out very well for me. One thing that I haven't done with this though, and I might do now that I just kind of thought of it, is put this on and put a gloss on top. Maybe that would help. I don't know. Just something about this product though just really settles in my fine lines and just looks kind of bad on me. So I don't know. I wanted to purchase the other ones, but I told myself no, because I was like, you don't like that one, so why would you purchase more? I don't know. Next, these are newer products too. It is the Rimmel Scandal Eyes. These are like the eyeshadow paints or whatever. These I bought because another YouTuber was using them in a tutorial and I liked the way they looked, so I decided to buy them too. And the only reason I don't really like these is because I have the Maybelline Color Tattoo in Bad to the Bronze, and I use that so much as like a taupe bronze base for my eyeshadows, which is, I mean, these are kind of, one's more bronze and one's kind of more taupe. So I just regret purchasing these because when I try to wear them on their own, they don't last very long. As if I use them as a base, like they're totally fine. But on their own, they just don't have very long lasting power, which kind of makes me sad. Because I wanted to love these, but I prefer my Maybelline Colors Tattoo, even though it is a little pot, and I do like how these are like a doe foot applicator. So that, I don't know, I just feel like these apply a little bit nicer and I don't have to dip my finger in there and spread bacteria. But, I don't know, they're just okay. And the last thing is another product that I've just kind of changed my mind about. It is the Ulta Butter Balms. Again, I don't think these are horrible. I just prefer my NYX ones. So, I feel like I should find a way to like use these up or something. Because again, I don't hate them. It's just that my NYX Butter Balms are a lot more popular with me. They're what I reach for a lot more. And like I said, these ones don't, I don't know, Goldilocks, the first one that I purchased, has like no smell. It doesn't smell like anything to me. But for some reason, Anya just smells really makeup-y. I don't know. It just doesn't have a good smell. If they smelled like cake or frosting or whatever the NYX butter glosses are supposed to smell like, then I would be way more into these because I think they're exact dupes. But that's kind of the thing, is the Ulta brand is cheap and the NYX brand is cheap. So you don't really need a dupe of two things that are both pretty cheap. Because I think the NYX ones are actually cheaper than the Ulta ones. Yes, because the Ulta ones are $8 full priced. I think the lowest I've seen them go is $4. So yeah, then they're around the same price, I think, as the butter glosses. Because I want to say the butter glosses are like $4.99 or $4.49 or something. But you can always get those at like the buy one get one 50% off sale too. So these I've just really changed my mind about. Again, the colors are pretty. I just prefer my NYX ones more. So, and that is the end of the video. There are two other products I don't technically have anymore, and I wanted to talk about those too quick because I mentioned them in like haul videos and then I just never talked about them again. The first one was the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I returned that pretty quickly after I got it because I tried to like give it a chance. But basically for me it felt a lot like how a liquid to powder foundation feels. It just was super mattifying and it set very quickly for me. And then also like whenever you use those foundations, you'll notice like your brush bristles will get kind of stiff from that like formula. I don't really like that formula. and I didn't like the way it, I don't know, I just didn't like it the way it looked on me, didn't like the way it felt, didn't like how fast it set, and I just had like the rudest person when I was returning it. So that made me even more glad to have just returned it and not have anything to do with their business anymore, because I was not happy. And I'm going to explain it quick. So if you want to fast forward, you can. The next product I'm talking about is the Tarte Maracuja oil. So that'll be the last thing I talk about, and that'll be the end of the video. But I returned it. I bought it at a counter. I was going to buy it at Sephora, but my local Sephora didn't carry it. So I bought it at a counter that was local or close to me. And I remember getting there and I was like, first of all, I didn't know if they like took back used makeup, because I know Sephora does, I know Ulta does, but I didn't know about this counter. So she was like, oh yeah, we take it back. And she's like, what's the problem with it? And instead of elaborating a lot, because, you know, when I do returns, I just say something quick and then they're like, oh, okay. And then they just do the return. I said it was too matte, which kind of actually wasn't the case. It was just that it was too, like, it just set really quick, and I don't know, just something about the way it looked, I didn't really like it. I said it was too matte. And she's like, oh, well, maybe you should try the Estee Lauder Double Wear Light. Do you want to try that out? And I was like, no, like, I just want to return this one. I just really didn't like it. And she was like, was the shade okay? And I was like, yeah, the shade was alright. And she's like, did the shade match you with this one? Because she's like, this is pretty light. And I was like, no. I was like, I had actually picked that shade. And then she goes, and just stares at me for like 10 seconds. And I look at my boyfriend like, I'm starting to get uncomfortable because she's just staring at me like this. And I'm like, okay, like, what is she making that face for? And she's like, they didn't shade match you or anything? And I'm like, no. And she's like, oh, they just handed you the bottle? And I was like, well, I just asked for that shade. And she's like, how did you know what shade to get? And at this point, I didn't want to be like, well, I'm a cosmetologist, I know what I'm doing. Didn't want to be snotty or anything. So I was just like, oh, well, I looked on this website. You can type in like what foundation shade you are from a different brand, and people will offer like suggestions and stuff. Or like I was thinking like Temptalia's website, her like foundation matrix thing, because I know that sometimes she's the one making the suggestions and sometimes it's just like other people that have used that shade. So I think I put in that I was like a MAC NC15, which I am, and people were recommending like Bone, I think. So I decided to go ahead and get that one. There was like one other shade they recommended too, but I decided to go ahead and go with Bone because I just decided that was more what I wanted. And I told her, I said, you know, I just kind of found on this website like a comparison website where people had said what shade they were in a different foundation and what shade they purchased in the Estee Lauder Double Wear. And she's like, oh, she's like, you cannot do that. She's like, makeup lines don't like co-align with each other or something like that. Something about like you can't take a foundation from one line and align it with another one. And this whole time I'm thinking, I know this because my MAC NC15 is more warm toned and a little tiny bit deeper than like my Revlon Color Stay and Buff, but I still bought Buff based on the recommendation from people that wore NC15, you know? Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, if someone recommends to you like a certain shade because you guys aren't the same shade in the current foundation, I would at least try it. Like, I've had that happen before where it's been like a little too dark or whatever. And I would say that's happened like, I don't know, like 9 out of 10 times the recommendation is totally fine and it works for me. There's like a small percentage of the time that it doesn't. So I was just kind of annoyed, I don't know, because she just seemed very rude about the whole thing. And she's like, they really should have shade matched you and stuff. And I was like, oh, well, I just didn't want to. I was like, we were in a hurry. And she's like, yes, but it's very important, you know, to make sure it's matched and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I think the shade was too light for you. Do you want to do you want to do a match? And I was like, no. I'm like, it actually was like a little bit too dark for me. And then she's like, oh, it must have been the wrong tone then. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't know. Just something about this situation was kind of weird. And my boyfriend was looking at me and he's like, I think he was waiting for me to like blow up or something. Like, I never get mad or yell or lose my patience, but I think he could tell that I was like frustrated because I just wanted to return the foundation and go at this point. And then she said, you know, after she said, do you want to try a different shade? I was like, no, I still just want to return this one. And then she's like, okay, well, do you have any skincare needs you would like to get today? And I was like, no, I just want to return the foundation. So she returns it, and she's like, I just can't believe they didn't do a shade match. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And I just signed the receipt, and then she's like, have a nice day. But I just kind of thought the whole thing was a little bit rude. I don't know, I didn't say anything about being like a cosmetologist or working at a makeup store. I didn't say anything about that to her because I don't know. I don't like to be snooty and be like, well, I know what I'm doing. But here's the thing. Working where I work currently, there are people that come in and know more about certain products than I do. There are also people that come in and know nothing about our products. And that's fine. But that's like the thing that you need to know going in, is that everybody has a different kind of makeup knowledge, and you need to kind of, I don't know, tailor the situation to what they know, what they're looking for, that kind of thing. So just assume that someone doesn't know anything is incredibly rude to me. Because when people come into where I work, I don't treat them like they're an idiot and like they have no idea about makeup and they have no idea about shade ranges. If they're looking at foundations and they're like, you know, I think I want to try that certain shade, I'm like, yeah, sure. I let them try it. Like I just do a little swatch on their face and let them decide if that's the shade they want to go with. If it's too dark, I might say, I think it's a little too dark. But if they're like, really, I like it, and it's like, well, it is at the end of the day what you like. If you want to wear foundation 5 shades darker than your skin, that is your business and your decision. Sorry, I'm like ranting a little bit now, so I'm just going to kind of wrap it up. But I don't know, I just was kind of upset to be treated like an idiot, I felt. Maybe that's not the right way to put it. The other thing is the Tarte Maracuja oil. I returned that because, as you guys can see, I have some like monster breakouts, and I'm assuming that it's from the Tarte Maracuja oil. It's the only thing I've changed in my routine. The only thing that's changed, like what I eat, sleep, everything. It's the only thing that has changed for me. So, I don't know. It's just, I think that's what was causing my breakouts. And one other thing is now, I don't even think I can show you this, but I'll try. Right here by my nose. Yeah, you can't see it. It is like getting flaky, like dry skin. And I have oily skin, and I've never had that happen. But like that's why I got the Maracuja oil, was to be like a moisturizer. Because on the back it said like use as much as needed for intense hydration. So I used it just every night as like a moisturizing anti-aging product. So I don't know what happened there, that it just didn't work for me, but it didn't. The other thing that I did like about it though is I have like a fine line in my forehead that you can definitely see. And it did help a little bit with that. I was starting to notice a difference in it, and I think if I would have kept using it, I would have noticed more of a difference. But if it's making my skin break out, I don't want to hold on to it. So I did return that today. My manager is actually going to bring me a sample of the Josie Maran Argan Oil. She said she's been using it for a long time and she really, really loves it. I told her that I was actually going to purchase like the milk, but then I decided to go ahead and get the Tarte one instead. And she was like, oh, she's like, girl, you should have just bought the Josie one. She's like, it's so good. So she's going to bring me a sample of that tomorrow, I think. I'm super excited to try that, and I will probably do a review if it's really good. If it's really bad, I'll mention it, I'm sure, but yeah. So now that this video has been long enough, I will wrap things up and I will see you guys next time. Bye.